Hey, Andy here from builderhottub.com. In this video, we're going to look at how we change the pump in our hot tubs. Let's go ahead and take a look. So changing the pump is one of the easier things that you're going to have to do in terms of maintenance of your hot tub. The pumps can get damaged, if they get water in, they're going to break down, the coils rust, they trip the breakers. So at some point you may need to change the pump in your hot tub. The first thing to remember when you're changing the pump in your hot tub is you need to change like for like. Now there's two key things that you need to look for. First is the horsepower. So you need to match the horsepower that you're taking out. So if you're taking out a 3 horsepower pump, then you need to make sure that you're putting back in a 3 horsepower pump. Pretty simple. Secondly, pumps come in two different types. They come in single speed and they come in dual speed. So you need to know whether you're replacing a dual speed or a single speed. So again, you can make sure that you match exactly what you're taking out with the new one that you intend to put in. The other thing to think about with your pump is the size of the union. Now the union is the white nut that connects and it screws onto your pump. They come in a couple of different sizes from 1.5 inch right up to 2.5 inch. So you need to check that your union is going to be like for like. Now you can get adapters to bring say a 2.5 inch down to a 2 inch. But it's much easier if you actually select a pump that is the same horsepower, it's the same type of speed, so it's either single or dual, and it has the same union size. Usually 2 or 2.5 inch is most commonly found on the hot tubs. So let's go ahead and replace the pump. So here I am, I'm replacing the pump on my system. Now my pump, the coil inside has started to break down. There's not a great deal that you can do to fix that. Some people will take them to repair shops. Personally, I prefer to just replace them so I know that the pump is going to work when I want to use my hot tub. So let's go ahead and take a look. Here we go. Behind me, you can see that first you've got to have access to your control room. So mine is below ground. So I'm going to open up the cover here. Very first thing that I'm going to do is actually turn off the mains breaker. You do not want to be anywhere near your pump or your spa pack with electricity flowing in. Pretty straightforward, but go ahead, turn off that breaker, make sure you stay nice and safe. Next thing, you need to lock off the gate valves. So you don't want to take the pump off and then all the water comes flying out your hot tub. Turn off your gate valves. You should have one that locks it off coming into the pump, and you should have another gate valve that locks off the external flow that's probably after the heater before it goes back through the jets into the tub. So make sure both of those gate valves are locked off nice and tight. Then it's time to disconnect the pump. When you disconnect the pump, you may find that the union nut is extremely tight. So as you can see behind me, what I was using here is actually a car oil filter tool. So it's an oil filter wrench, and they work really, really nicely on hot tubs. So if you've got union nuts on the pumps, union nuts on your filter, this particular tool, inexpensive, $20 on Amazon, perfect for the job. So I'm using that tool to loosen the nuts. I'm just going to then take off the union. Water will come out. There will be water inside of your pump. Don't worry about that. That will just drain away. As long as you've got those gate valves locked off, you're not going to have the whole entire contents of your hot tub flowing into your control room. Once those unions are disconnected, I now need to get into the spa pack and then disconnect the AMP cord. So my system's a Balboa system. So I've got those white clips, which are, they're called AMP clips, and they just pinch and then you can just remove them from the spa pack. So it's pretty straightforward. Now it's time to put the new pump back in. Now those eagle-eyed of you will have noticed that the cable colours are slightly different. That's fine, you've just got to make sure that the pins are the same. So the high-speed pin is going to the high-speed connection, because mine's a dual speed pump, low speed to the low speed, you've got the common and you've got the ground as well. So just make sure, even if the colours are different, that the pins are actually connected correctly to the pump. You'll get a difference between European AMP cords and American AMP cords. They have different colours. You'll also get cables that are self-made as well, so they may not conform to any colours at all. Just make sure that the pinouts match what you're putting into the pump. So here I am, I'm now dropping the new pump back into the control room. Now my control room is particularly tight. If you've watched the channel, you'll notice that it's one of the things that if I did the project again, I would definitely make it much bigger to make life easier for servicing for these kind of things. It is quite a tight fit, but as I'm replacing like for like, that pump has just slotted in there, and now I'm going to connect it all back up. It's just the reverse of before. Screw those unions on nice and tight. Use the oil wrench to then tighten them up so that there's going to be no leaks. Make sure that the bleed valves on the front of the pump are nice and tight as well. On this particular model, I've got 2 of those, so you might be able to see them on the video. They're the small plastic nuts that you can do with your hands. They're bleed valves, so if you do have an airlock in your pump, you can actually loosen those and allow the air to escape. And then it's a case of just plugging in that AMP cable back into your spar pack, closing everything up, and then it's time to turn that breaker back on and check that everything is working perfectly. So let's go ahead and do that now. If you've got any questions at all about replacing pumps, or you need pumps supplying, please do get in touch. I'm always happy to help. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video. If you've liked this video, please do like, share and subscribe to the channel. See you on the next video.